How's it going? Reality Redemption Podcast. We took a little bit of a break there for Independence Day. Usually we do an episode on July 4th, but this year we didn't.
Yeah,
That was
we
probably
were
because
independent of it.
it was probably because of all the fires that happened that day.
Oh my God. Yeah. What's up with that?
Well, we all have this set me off like a firework on Facebook. Was people were saying, "Hey, chill out with the fireworks. It's dry out," and and especially in the area we live in. And this one person posted, "I want to quit the bitching about me setting off fireworks. I have the freedom to celebrate Independence Day." And I was like, "Yeah, but you don't have the freedom to burn down your neighbor's house."
They have the freedom to, oh God.
Yeah, literally. And then I became like the advocate somehow, the anti-firework advocate on, Kingman fucking social media. And
Right. Because you told them that they didn't have the right to burn their neighbor's house down?
yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and then we had there's a fire up in the mountains to our north here, about 10 miles outside of town. Some houses had to be evacuated. Luckily, nobody's lost any structures at this point, and it doesn't look like they're going to at this point.
Well, that's good.
But that was set off by people either out there four-wheeling, and your catalytic converter gets hot, and you park on, the grass or shrubs, weeds that are getting tall, and it sets on fire. Or I've also heard there was shooting guns out there, which you're not supposed to do, but they do anyway because of freedom.
It sounds strangely like 1 or 2 years ago. Didn't that same scenario happen?
Yeah, the one up in the Wallapies.
Yeah, where it was either people shooting guns or they were driving their quads around.
Yeah. Well, shit, what can you do? It's the price of freedom, I guess, to burn down our neighbors' houses. Because
Yeah, they need to burn down their own house. See how they like that.
well, unfortunately, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Although you do have the idiots that end up blowing off their own, their fingers and stuff like that. That happens every year too. And my question to, one of the people on the board of supervisors in Mojave County, because it's illegal to set off fireworks in Mojave County, just because of, where we live, it's dry, it's a fire hazard. So they make it legal. And my question was, why is it legal to sell them within Mojave County if you cannot set them off? And they didn't have a good answer. But I'm like,
why didn't they just say because of capitalism? I mean,
well, that's what they should have said. They said that they would get back to me, but they didn't. But yeah, I mean, it's going to happen anyways. You're going to just drive to the next, county over someone that does sell them and just bring them back and set them off. But yeah, if it's illegal to set,
you're gonna go to Indiana to bring your fireworks back to Illinois.
Yeah. Like I lived in New Hampshire, and New Hampshire had, these businesses that would sell fireworks, but it was illegal to set them off in New Hampshire. So this isn't a Mojave County problem. But I always found that baffling. Like, why can you sell them if you can't set them off?
Right. Well, it's always been like that pretty much in Arizona, too. I remember all the time you could, buy them. Sure, you could buy them down in Phoenix, but you can't set them off because of fire danger,
Yeah. So we're doing this kind of like a quick check-in, I remember last summer we took a lot of time off because I was in Indiana. Which, can you believe I went to Indiana a year ago this weekend?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been a year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes years fly by.
As we get older, they keep on like going downhill. And then we're checking in because you're leaving for Alaska.
Yeah, I'm excited to go cool off.
So, where does your cruise leave from?
Seattle.
Seattle. All right, so you have to get up. You have to fly from Vegas to Seattle, and then Seattle. And where do you dock in Alaska?
Juneau.
Juneau.
We go to Juneau. We go to Ketchikan. We go to Sitka. We go through like the glacier thing, and we go into British Columbia, Canada.
How long is that cruise?
A week, and then back to Seattle, and then we fly back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Isn't Juneau an island?
What?
Isn't Juneau an island, or is it mainland?
I don't know. I guess I'll find out when I get there.
See, I don't know my Alaska geography.
Good question.
I was just seeing, though, I was watching this video on YouTube, like, what's the top 10 racist towns in, America? I was surprised to find out that Honolulu and Anchorage, Alaska were on the list.
Really?
Yeah, because of their treatment of the native citizens of that area. No, truth be told, I watched that video expecting, Kingman to be on that list. Fully expecting it, but it wasn't. So, congrats to Kingman.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, do they have to be a certain size?
No, because there was small towns too. So, I'll send you a link to the video later.
Wow. Okay.
So, how long do you stay, like, in each place? Do you, so do you just, like, pull into Juneau? Do you get off and,
Yeah, you can go do excursions, and then you have to be back on the boat before it leaves.
The only thing I know about Juneau was there was that movie that was called Juneau. Which
I've never seen it.
What's the temperature up there this time of year?
Well, I looked it up, and it looks like it's going to be like in the 60s.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm still bringing like Arizona winter clothes.
So sweater weather here.
Yeah.
Like
bringing like jeans and stuff still, so I can stay warm.
I mean, that's a beautiful area. I've always wanted to go up there and do that. Cruise along the coast, see the mountains.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to Alaska. And I figure like a cruise is the best way to see a lot of Alaska since it's so big,
How far up do you go? Like, are you gonna get like near Sarah Palin where you can see Russia from her house, like type of?
I don't. What part of Alaska is she in? Do you know?
I don't know. We didn't research it. See, we're winging it tonight.
Yeah.
We'll have to look that up.
I'm going to Juneau. Juneau, Sitka, Ketchikan, Glacier area, up into Canada, going to British Columbia, and then back on down to Seattle.
Okay. Well, Vancouver would be on the way back then, because Vancouver's just over the border. I think Vancouver is on the border.
Okay.
Which
well, that's the last stop before we get back to Seattle, so that would make sense.
Which you watched that Pamela Anderson documentary, right? And she lives there with her family outside Vancouver, and her place was just gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. And that Vancouver is British Columbia too?
Yes.
That's all. Okay. I didn't realize it had that many names.
You have Vancouver, British Columbia, and Vancouver, Washington, but both are kind of right near the border there.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering my geography.
Yeah.
So, I guess the other thing that we had to talk about is why is the Supreme Court such dicks? Like, they have the sessions from October to June, to the end of June, and they come out with these decisions that they know that it's going to piss off a lot of people, and they're like, see ya, we're on vacation.
I don't know. I think they're like, maybe they get off on their power. They're like, look at what we can do to you. Everybody doesn't realize how much power we have.
Yeah.
I mean, typically, like, who keeps their ass in check?
Apparently nobody.
Yeah, I thought that there were rules, so it was like a balance of power. Like not one of the branches can get, like, too big for their britches, so
right.
to speak. You know?
Right, like say the president can assign an executive order, but the common way to do it is to create a bill, put it through Congress, both branches, the Congress and Senate, and all three sign off on it, and then it becomes law. But then the Supreme Court can decide that that's unconstitutional and overturn it without any repercussions.
Yeah, it just, like, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I get that you want to have the three branches of government in order to maintain the checks and balances, but who keeps checks on the Supreme Court?
Well, apparently no one, when you can, accept these gifts, quote unquote, gifts.
If you have enough money, you can literally buy a Supreme Court justice. I mean,
yeah.
He owns one or two of them. He owns Clarence Thomas, and then doesn't he own another one too?
Yeah, you take them on vacations that are undeclared, and then when it comes time for the ruling in the Supreme Court, they vote your way. But it's undeclared, and hey, we're just we're just acquaintances, you know what I mean? And that's the way it's passed off. Yeah.
We're just really good friends.
Yeah. It's just really suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can sort of see Biden's thing where he doesn't want to look like, well, we don't want to load the courts more progressive because that could come back to bite us. But at the same time, you have to play by the GOP's rules. And remember when we had Jem on the podcast and we were talking about this? And that was when right before Biden was coming in, there was a seat up because of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and they rushed it through. But at the same time, right before Obama was leaving office, Mitch McConnell said, no, we have to let the American people decide.
Right.
And they did the exact opposite thing, being hypocrites. And that's the big thing we talk about in this podcast, is being hypocritical. It can't be both ways. You can't say, nope, we're not going to vote on this one. But then, and that was 6 months before the election when that one happened. But then 3 weeks before the election, they pushed, the other one through to get the majority of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And so I guess the two that happened that kind of pissed me off was they ruled in favor of, the hypothetical person that didn't want to create a website for a hypothetical same-sex couple. Now, I think the Supreme Court is supposed to be based off hypothetical cases.
Yeah, that was new to me. I had no idea about that either.
I don't know how it got that far to the Supreme Court after 7 years or whatever it was. And one of our friends made the point to me, like, the best way to combat that is when you're going into these things and you're getting married is, yes, go into the business and state up front, I have a same-sex partner and we want to do this. And if they say that's against our beliefs, then be like, okay, fuck you. We're not doing business with you. And by the way, I was just seeing if you were an asshole or not. Which is the good way to do it.
Right.
And the other one was affirmative action. They said, well, colleges can't, accept students based upon race. Which I think from like looking at the bigger picture, I sort of understand the argument. Sort of. Like, just because, someone's a certain skin color, then they get in and you don't, even if you have better grades or whatever, whatever they base the input on.
Right.
But at the same time, then how come do the colleges allow the legacy admissions, which is, the kids of the former students, the alumni? Because isn't that based on, how much money you have and who you know, and not necessarily based on the qualifications?
Yeah, it's definitely based on who you know. I mean, if there's some alumni's offspring, and they're getting in just because of that,
Well, I mean, and so if you're going to cut out the affirmative action, then you have to cut that out too. And Harvard is getting sued for that.
I don't think they're going to cut that out, though.
No, because it's all big corporations. But what happened to corporations just being allowed to do what they want to do? I don't know.
Only if it suits the right people, I guess, is the conclusion I'm coming to. It's like, yeah, if the right people aren't offended by it, then I guess you're okay, right?
I guess so. I don't know. And the final thing, they found cocaine in the White House. Did you hear that story?
Yeah, I heard, and I heard, like, people are like, oh, it must be Hunter Biden.
Yeah, it must be Hunter Biden.
Yeah, because he was there recently, I suppose.
I was watching Trey Crowder's recent video, and he put out tonight. I'll have to send it to you. And he was funny because he was just like, yo, conservatives, pearl clutching. And he goes, that guy actually sounds like he'd be fun to hang out with. Driving 120 down the Vegas Strip, snorting coke, with a bunch of girls, hookers. It's I don't know. And of course, Trump comes out and says, well, of course it was Joe Biden's and Hunter Biden's cocaine, and I don't think Joe Biden is doing cocaine.
And then it almost sounded like something where it was like framed or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be.
Like it was purposely placed there to like be like, who knows?
Even though Hunter wasn't there for like 40 hours or something before that, and it was in an area where some of the tourists are allowed to go in.
Yeah, they were saying something like that they were gonna. The latest I had heard on like the hourly news thing was they were gonna test the baggie for fingerprints or something.
Well, good. Go at that. You know, the Secret Service, is going to do a bang-up job doing this. At the same time, they deleted all their text on January 6th.
Oh, wow.
Who knows?
Huh.
But hey, if Joe Biden and Hunter Biden were doing blow at the White House, of course. But I mean, didn't Willie Nelson smoke grass on the White House roof? I mean, that was the story, right? I think back in the day, before Ronald Reagan took out the took out the solar panels and shit like that. Willie Nelson, went to the White House with Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, I think, would be a cool ass person to hang out with.
Right.
But shit, I don't know. So we got fucking. It is the White House. Like, think about it. JFK, Bill Clinton, Billy Carter, right? That was Jimmy's brother, Billy Carter. That's the first time cocaine has been in the White House. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. Fuck.
Yeah, I know. I highly doubt that's the first time that the White House has seen cocaine in it.
I mean, I don't know, but I don't know Trump, but
What the fuck? I need my bag.
I think I see Trump like smashing up his Ritalin and snoring that on the White House desk. I mean, for the things. I mean, like Don Jr. I mean, look, as call it, apples and oranges, you know what I mean? I would think it'd be plausible that Don Jr. did coke at the White House. Plausible. Allegedly. I'm not saying I know anything, but it's plausible.
He does seem like he's on something.
Yeah.
He's suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve Bannon, come on. Not saying he does coke, but that guy has to be on like something.
Yeah, but there's no. I don't know. I think that he would die of a heart attack if he did coke. Don't you think?
True. And then why would he need to wear 3 shirts while he's doing coke? So, I don't know. But I guess these will be questions that will be answered over the next couple of weeks until we get back again to the podcast again. So hopefully we have more info for everybody. We'll find out whose coke it was. Maybe we'll have more confessions on tape of the president saying that he fucking took fucking documents. Who knows? But Snow, have a good time in Alaska.
Yeah, thank you.
And I might try to do an episode while you're gone. I had a couple ideas of some stuff to throw around, so we don't leave our audience hanging like we did last summer, because we kind of took a couple months off last summer when we did a couple. But Bon Voyage, have fun.
Thank you.
Are you gonna get to see wildlife or anything like that? You go see a polar bear.
I want to see a bear and some moose, and I definitely want to see orcas.
Orcas, yeah, you will probably see some orcas.
I really hope so. I mean, that's the one that I really want to see the most.
You see, like the orcas, they like to play around in like sink boats for fun. I mean, you're not gonna have a problem because you'll be on a cruise ship. That's not gonna happen. But do you see? I saw like other videos where they just like to fuck and not say, "Hey, they're just playing around like, hey, let's sink this thing." Orcas aren't to be messed around with.
No, that's well, they're called killer whales.
Yeah. You ever see the movie Orca? It's like in the Jaws era.
No.
No, I'll look that one up. It was a good one. Yeah. Back in the day. Orcas seem like they would like Coke too.
They were what?
Orcas seem like they would like Coke.
They would like Coke?
Yeah, fucking orca on cocaine, out there sinking ships. They probably sink drug ships just to fucking snort the cocaine. And you have that Cocaine Bear movie.
Cocaine Bear, Cocaine Orca.
Yeah, hey, let's write the script.
Yeah.
All right. Shit.
That's like, did you know that's based off of a true story too?
The Cocaine Bear, yeah, I've heard that was a kind of a true story.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's all Hunter's fault, so. Shit, well then that will wrap this up for this week and maybe next week. But in 2 weeks, I believe, you'll be back and we'll be back to our regular schedule on Sunday nights and when we drop the new Reality Redemption podcast.
Yep.
In the meantime, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Snow, take pictures if you see orcas doing coke or anything, and then we'll post them on our socials so we can follow your trip.
Cool.
Okay?
I will.
All right. So until next time, bye, y'all.